Hey everybody, it's Thomas. It's time to talk about Blood Bowl League of Blood Bowl. What a week. Wrapping up a little early actually, which is nice. It's nice to finish weeks early, everybody played their game. Some changes on the team. If you haven't seen the game, it was a great success for me. It'll be up here, of course. But you might notice there's a number here that isn't 1 and not 5. Yes, the Fnatic got a level up. He got his extra S2, his first and bonus 2 SPP injury in big style. He killed somebody real hard. Anything else happen here? Not really. Wishbone got a touchdown. I messed around a little too much. Oh, this guy got... no, that one had it before. Whoo! Thought somebody hit level 3 that didn't have it. Maybe I'm just thinking of somebody else. I don't know. Whatever. I tried so hard to get this guy to level 3 and get this guy to level 2, but didn't quite work out. You can watch the game to see what happened. It was a bit messy. I won a ton of money, which I'm not doing anything with, but whatever. As you can see, I 2-0'd it. 2 touchdowns, 5 casualties. I'm giving a thumbs up. You can't see it, though. An MVP and a death, so that's 12, 17, 23 SPP. Not too bad. Bunch of it went on players that already had stuff. So not the end of the world. Like Dr. Friday the 13th got 2 more punches. Broken Mirror got some SPP. I'm really happy that happened. I was really concerned it wasn't going to. Some of these injuries I think are from the chainsaw, though. I don't quite know how that is calculated, but maybe that's from over here. I don't know. Some of these stats are not as descriptive as they could be. Sid, for his most part, got 3 passes, which is not too bad, and a casualty, so 5, 8 SPP. Not the best, but could be okay. Like I said, did get a level up on the Fnatic, got Mighty Blow, because there's not really any other choices. I feel like I must have gotten a level up. I'm just not remembering or seeing somewhere here. Yeah, I must be just not remembering at all. Because I didn't hire or refire anybody. I don't know. I'm really confused. I thought I had more than 1 level up, but maybe I'm just crazy. Yeah, 2 sidesteps, 2 diving tackle, and a wrestle jump up. And catch sidestep. I have no idea. I'm going nuts. Sorry, everybody. Let's take a look at what Sid got out of that. Around here somewhere. Here we are. So we got beat up a little bit. No level ups for him. He's got 30k. Can't really afford to do too much more with this. Kind of unfortunate. I killed a blitzer, so that kind of sucks for him. I don't think he bought any players in between there. Yeah, he just got 30,000, and he had bought out to get a thrower here and somebody else, a line woman maybe. I don't remember. It's been a weird week for me. Yeah, so he has 30,000, so he's gonna be short of blitzer going into next week. That's a little rough, to say the least. The blitzers really what make this team go around. Yeah, that's just rough. Looks like it was one of the unskilled ones though, so that's not too bad. But still, I think she had like 4 SPP, so that's a little unfortunate. Yeah, not to say. I basically had a ridiculous first couple turns. I didn't really flesh out this game too much, and then was able to just snowball it from there. Got the ball away early, scored midfield, and prevented him from scoring as well. So that's how that game went. Let's look at this here. This game ended up being much closer than I thought it was going to be. The Skaven team got really roughed up. The Goblin team got replacement Fnatic and the 6th-strength Troll star player for his inducements, which did a ton of damage. 5 casualties, 2 kills. Finally seen some big penalties on the Skaven bench. So a lot of stuff. Some of this goes to the star players, so it's hard to say exactly what SPP you got. We'll look at that later. But basically, she managed to squeeze out a win somehow. I was expecting it to be a tie based on the information I was getting at first, but looks like she pulled out a win. Haven't seen too much about the finality of this game. or anything like that, so I can't give you too many details. But a fair amount of SPP still got a throw in here finally, which is good. I'm glad to see this team finally using his throwing ability. Looks like things have already been processed here. No level ups, it looks like. Looks like she did have a -1 agility gutter runner, so she fired that one, which I think is a good choice, and rehired a new one. The storm vermin with jump up and piling on died, so that one's gone and is replaced by a regular one, which is probably for the best. You don't want to be without those block pieces, and some more linemen were hired to fill this out. 1670 for the old team value there. That's quite a bit, quite a bit. So. I don't know, this team's still scary. I mean, losing those 2 core pieces definitely hurts, but it's not the end of the world. Still got a bunch of other stuff that can hit and run and throw. It's barely a problem. Got 60,000 out of it, so she was able to replenish her roster and still have 90k left over in case more bad things happen. Let's take a look at the Pants Commander side of things here. Walked with 50k and got 2 levels up on some goblins here. Looks like these are probably injury or touchdown related. So don't know what these rolls are or anything like that, but good progression. Goblins going up is good. Harder to go wrong with sidestep. Looks like that's what he's taken on more of these goblins. Certainly diving tackle wouldn't hurt either, but whatever. Next week he'll be back up to full strength, which is good for him. It's got a just gonna be back at it. He's got his fanatic again. So good news there. He's 90k there, so nothing really to rehire though. We looked at this game already. Let's take a look at Mark's level up for Mystery Win. Did give it to a lineman here, I believe. Yes, this guy, I think, got the level up and got wrestle, which I think is a good call. This team's got a fair amount of tackle already. It's got 3 tackle pieces, and then we'll have 2 wrestle pieces, so that's good. It helps take down annoying block jerks. We'll see. Mark was talking about maybe firing these goblins because he's not really using them, which wouldn't be a bad thing. They are adding a lot to his team value, and if he's not using them, there's not really a point to keep them. I will say this one's almost level 3, so maybe not, but who knows. Could certainly trim down this roster to prevent team bloat, but still, it's not the end of the world. One way or the other. No big other changes for him. And then this game just happened. Huge upset here. The Wood Elves losing to the Ogre team. This is, as far as I can tell, I haven't watched the video yet because this isn't even up yet. But this is just this section here. All these casualties knocking people out. And it looks like Andrew took himself out with some KOs. I don't know if these are go for it's. I know this kill is from a foul, so yeah, some of these SPP can kind of go all over the place from my counting earlier. Andrew did just not get a lot here. 2 he gets 2 from the casualty, 1 from the pass, and that's 8. That's not that much compared to the even taking off this one. We're looking at 21 SPP for Chris again. Just wanted to get 30. So he was left with a ton of money. Looks like he spent it on something. Oh, he bought his 4-3 roll. Okay, that makes sense. What kind of level ups do we have here? Any for the ogres? No changes to the ogres, not too surprising. Oh, this one's almost level 3, so that's kind of cool. Don't know when that'll ever happen though. So this Snotly got +1 agility. This is the player, by the way, that killed that War Dancer. +1 agility, Snotly will actually help quite a bit. Doesn't improve his dodging that much because he already is titchy, but it will help pick up the ball more, which is something that this team will struggle with quite a bit. His team value is now in the ridiculous territory. Yeah. What can you do? Let's take a look here. The Wood Elf side of things, yeah, lost to War Dancer. Like I said, only got 20. That's real rough. He's down to 90. He can't even replace his War Dancer. That is probably the worst part. He will have it next week, which is good. But what were his losses here? Looks like it was just the War Dancer. Some relatively annoying injuries here. Miss next game. Miss next game. This is -1 strength. Whew, I don't know. I guess you probably want to keep him. He needs the bodies at this point. Level up on this lineman though, so that's good. Don't know what he'll get. He's got kick, so maybe block, fend, maybe. This thrower is out with just a miss next game, so no permanent stat penalties aside from this one. Ugh, that's really a painful one, though. -1 strength is one of the worst things you can get, especially for a lineman. Yeah, brutal. Andrews had not the best luck in terms of keeping his players up. So, that's kind of what happened in the last week. Let's take a quick look at what's happening in the weeks ahead here. We've got Underworld versus Skaven. This match could be interesting. I'm not sure who I will say will win here. With Skaven taking such a beating here, even though she's kind of restored her roster, still not as skilled as she was. 1670 for the team value here. And let's see what Mark is working with. 1560, so 110 in the inducements, so that's another Apothecary, another reroll, lots of choices there. 100 is sort of the magic number where things can be fun. 2 Babes is certainly an option as well. We'll see. I think Mark is in the position where he can beat the Skaven team, but the Skaven team is still very fast and still has a lot of pieces that can do a lot of damage, so we'll see. Last time they met, the end result was a 2-1 for the Skaven team. Honestly, I would lean towards something similar just because the Skaven team's ability to move the ball is still extremely good. The Underworld team is very fast, but the Skaven team is still faster by a measure. We'll see, though. I can certainly see this being a tie, but I'm going to give it to the Skaven team just a little bit. It doesn't really matter for playoffs or anything like that either. We'll see. In some ways, the Underworld team is an incentive to do a lot of damage to this team, so we may see a lot of more reckless blocks than normal. We can see. Goblins versus Amazon. This should be a pretty interesting match. I think these coaches are pretty evenly matched. Missing the Blitzer is probably the hugest thing here. Missing this linewoman is not really the end of the world. He will have 12 players, 1310 for team value. And ye old goblins, 1410, assuming normal ribs would be 1450, so that's 150 for Sid, so that could be a wizard. Probably the best choice. Wizard or any number of things could be okay. Certainly a babe and an extra apothecary would not be out of place against the goblin team. We shall see. Sid's certainly got some choices in terms of thinking about it. Really hard to say for me, honestly. I think the Goblin team has a chance. Certainly, I was able to do a lot of damage to Sid, and he's got a lot of pretty solid things going for him. His team's starting to get pretty scary. This guy's really good. I think it's going to depend a lot. Let's go ahead and... Man, I don't know how to predict this. Because they didn't play last time. They had a forced tie last time. Let's go ahead and say I think Sid can pull this off. I don't know for sure. Certainly Evan is really good at doing damage. But because Evan won't have the ball moving things, it's hard to say. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to say Amazon, but it probably is going to be... No, just scrap that. It's going to be a tie. We'll just call it a tie. I think that's a more realistic thing. This is a forced tie for the Wood Elf versus Chaos team, which is probably a good thing in terms of Andrew's concern. That gives him time for these players to all recuperate. And will probably give him the 20 he needs to hire his new War Dancer. So... hard to say. This is one of those things where losing all those players early on is definitely, or over the past couple weeks, has definitely hurt him. I'm not sure where the deaths were for him. I think he just didn't. Yeah, he didn't really. He's not really had that many players actually die. He's had a lot of injuries though, some of which have necessitated firing and rehiring. I don't know. I think maybe it's just his winning rolls haven't been that good, which has made it hard for him to develop. They haven't been that bad either, so I don't know what exactly has been the problem with this team. They're all really expensive, and that doesn't help. Hard to say. Having the week off is definitely really good for Andrew, though. He'll be able to afford that word answer, so that's a good thing. This matchup, me versus Chris, is actually very, very significant. This is, if I win this game, I will be guaranteed to get into the playoffs. If Chris wins this game, then he's actually higher than me in terms of overall standing, and which would require me to win my last game and would require him to win his last game as well if I win. So this game is very important. If Chris loses and I win, I'm in for sure. Chris can't beat my score at that point. So this week is very important in terms of both of us making it in. I think it would almost be funnier if Chris made it in because he would play such a spoiler role with how much damage his team can do. But we'll see. Money-wise, 14-10. And let's look at Team Ridiculous. 1770, so I'm going to be getting 360. That is a lot. That is a lot of money. I can get a wizard, I can get all 3 bribes and get a babe. I can get a wizard, a couple bribes, and let's see, it'd put me at 250. I think I can still get a star player at that point. 6 strength troll probably isn't going to help me that much, though. We'll see. I've got some time to think about it, I think. Hopefully I can work this game out. I'm going to say I can win it. I think the Pogor actually being at movement allowance 8 helps me a lot. It'll come down to who gets the ball first. We're both very bashy, smashy teams. It'll also come down to how well behaved my secret weapons are. If my Fnatic can hit some people, that'd be great. If my Looney can foul some people into next season, that would also be good as well. It'll really depend on how lucky I get in terms of kickoff. It'll also depend on how good my secret weapons are. Chris on the other end just has to hope for a lot of 2+ rolls, basically. God. And he has 4 rerolls now, so even that's not the end of the world. We'll see. Last time we met, he beat me 1-0. I believe I can still beat him. I was working on a much weirder team at that point, or much less stable team, much less good team. We'll see. I hope I can do it. Because I really like to make it into the playoffs, but hey, we'll see what happens. So yeah, quick recap. I think that Skaven team will win. Could be a tie. I think this will be a tie. This is going to be a forced tie for Andrew. And let's go ahead and say I will win. Actually, that's one point as well. If we tie, which is not out of the realm of possibility, I could easily see this being a 0-0 or even a 1-1 or 0-0 tie. That's still better for me because then I'm at 15, he's at 14. Our overall point disparity remains, which would require would require Chris for sure to win this week and me to tie or lose. If I win, I'm for sure in. So Chris has more to do than I have to do to make it in, but it's not improbable. We shall see. So let's take a quick look at the Hall of Fame. Most experienced player, not a lot of changes here. Yeah, there's no big changes in terms of where things are. Best scorer still on the Skaven teams. Yeah, no huge changes here. 8 is a pretty big number though. Kind of a huge jump actually between the top 4 and the rest of this. 8, 7, 7, 6, and then 4 to 2. So kind of a big jump there. Best throwing still the Amazons with 5 for this one thrower. Lots of throws for Andrew's team, not too surprising because elves will do that. Still only 2 interceptions here. Most violent player, the big Skaven Destructo-matic has there, but Chris's ogre team is all over this chart now with 4 players on here. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yes, go me. I've got 5 up here. Pretty clumped together here. Dean stands out with 7, but you know, for the most part, 6s and 5s are the name of the game. Best running, yes. I'm gonna hold on to this. That's my goal, no matter what, to win this one. I probably won't, but hey, a man can dream. Best throw in terms of overall distance is still the Wood Elves by quite a ways, actually. Best survivor still means nothing because our league isn't really long enough. Best murdering still being done by Dean. Troll here got up to 2, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, not too bad. Best receiving 7 catches on one receiver. I think this is actually just a catcher, which would make sense, obviously. Also not surprised to see Wood Elves on here in pretty good numbers. Huge difference once again between the top spots and the rest of them. 7-7, 7-6-6, and then 4-1-4, and then 3 and a bunch of 2s. So that's kind of crazy. I think this includes handoffs and stuff though, but who knows? With these stats, I can never really remember, and I don't really care. So I mentioned this kind of briefly. This week is pretty big in terms of determining who's going to make it into the playoffs. Overall, I think these 3 are pretty much locked. It's really just a big squabble over 4th. I mean, no one can really knock any of them off. I mean, it's possible that if I win both, I'd be at 20, which is still less than Andrew. So yeah, these 3 are locked in and going to the playoffs. It's really just a big squabble over 4th place here. It is still possible for, maybe it would come down to tiebreaker, but it's still possible for Evan to make it in. Actually, it's very possible because if Chris and I tie, and then Chris and Mark tie, and Evan beats me, then I would be at 15, and Chris would also be at 15, and Evan would have 16. So it's still possible actually for the Scholarly Goblin team to make it in. It's still possible for me. I mean, I have the easiest path in, essentially, but still very possible for any of the 3 of us to make it in. It is no longer possible for Sid to make it in, though, based on who he's playing, which is a little sad, but what can you do? Alright, that wraps up this for the week. Man. Season's almost over, then we do playoffs, then Season 3 will start up pretty quickly after that. Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Talk to you guys later. Bye.